Hey, what is up guys? My name is Will, back for another CSGO video. Now today it's going to be a video on betting, but it's not actually going to be predictions. It's going to be some tips I'm going to try and tell you guys so you guys can make some easy skins on CSGO Lounge. So let's get right into it. First off, please ignore the gameplay in the background. It's really crap. I don't normally play deathmatch, and it was my first time recording with Fraps, and my frames are really terrible. I don't know why, I don't know how to fix it. So if you guys know how to do that, then leave a comment below. But starting with tip number one. This is probably a pretty common one. You've heard this probably before if you've watched some more betting advice videos. But don't bet more than you're willing to lose. Now there is an exception to this. If you are betting on a team which is essentially like Fnatic versus some random PUG team, which is their first game and they're all like really bad players, obviously you can bet more on that game because you probably 99% Fnatic are going to win. But essentially what this means is don't bet like more than what you want to lose. So I bet around $160 when I go all in. I could bet more, and even if I do lose that $160, I'll still have like $130 inventory. So although it is a big loss, I'm still able to make that money back, which I did do when I lost on Kinguin versus Cloud9. That was a mistake on my part. I didn't see it was a best of one. I was really tired that day. But yeah, it was a mistake on my part. So yeah, don't bet more than you're willing to lose. Secondly, you need to play Counter-Strike and follow the CSGO scene. You can't just look at recent results and predict your bet analysis on that. For example, that game, like a certain player might have carried that, and some of their players had an off game on the other team. So essentially, one or two players were carrying that whole team and they actually won from that. You need to watch the game. You need to watch the plays, and that brings me on to the third tip, and that is you need to know like the different series. So there's like ESL, which is a major, which teams tend to try their hardest at, like Fnatic and stuff like that. Fnatic don't seem to care about many other tournaments unless there's big prize money involved. But yeah, you need to know like the different series there are of CSGO, like tournaments like CEVO, Frag, Bite Masters, and stuff like that. Next one is you need to like not just you need to predict your prediction, and then you need to look at like betting analysis people like myself and others. I know I'm not the best, I'm alright, but there are better ones out there like CSGO Betting Guru. Now please note these like betting predictors are just giving you guys their thoughts. They're not like predicting the game. They're not gonna get 100% of the games right. So just take what they say into consideration. That doesn't mean you should bet on them. It's just saying take what they say into consideration and factor that in. Next one is don't chain bet. So if you don't know what chain betting is, it's essentially if a team beats another team like a month ago, then they're going to beat them again this month. Essentially any data which is less than about 20 days old is useless. Teams would have changed, teams would have practiced more, they would have known the other team's playstyle, their maps and stuff like that. So yeah, don't chain bet, do your own research and make a very solid, reliable prediction. That brings me on to another tip, which is know the team's maps. Each team's going to have different maps. Like in the NA games, a lot of the teams like to pick Cache because of the easy terrorist rotates. So Cache and Dust2 are very favoured in the North American games as well as Inferno. That doesn't necessarily mean that a team's good on them, but you just need to know stuff like that. Also, you need to know like the pro teams. If you like to bet on like Na'Vi and stuff like that, you need to know what maps they're good on. So just going on a brief rundown of some of the pro teams' best maps. VP tend to be really strong on Mirage. They don't lose on that map often. Same with TSM and kind of Na'Vi, but they're like in a form slump. Fnatic are really strong on Cobblestone as well as Inferno. I don't really want to go into the other teams because there's not really any point, but yeah, that's just a brief rundown. Know which maps the teams are good on, and know like the veto, how the veto works. So different teams might like, they aren't good on like particular maps. For example, Na'Vi aren't good on Cache, so they tend to ban that in the veto. And lots of teams aren't really good on Cobblestone either, and they tend to ban them in the veto as well. An example of that is TSM. Whenever they're playing like a pro team, they always ban cobblestone because they know they're not good on it, and they would potentially lose on it. So next one after chain betting and the map vetoes and stuff like that is don't switch your bets. If you bet on a team, you bet on them for a reason. Don't switch your bets unless, for example, last minute all the players pull out for some retarded reason and they get 5 stand-ins who you've never heard of before. That would be the time when you want to switch. But if something like that doesn't arise and you don't have a reliable reason to switch your bets, then don't switch them. Even if you do lose, you shouldn't be switching your bets after you've placed them unless there's something that's happened to the team or something like that, because there's just no reason to, and you bet on that team for a reason. And that brings me to the last tip for this video, and that is swayers. Now if you don't, you probably know who swayers are. They're in like the comments on Reddit and the discussion on Lounge. They're people who kind of like to convince bettors to bet on the opposite team so they get better odds. This is swaying. Essentially saying, like, say Fnatic is versing some other team, they have 6% odds, they're saying, oh yeah, bet on the 6% team, Fnatic's gonna throw. Essentially, I don't think any pro teams are gonna throw anymore. Like, they just get really tough bans and sentences, and I don't see a point in that. Although, not really a throw, but an upset is potentially gonna happen. I highly doubt that the team's gonna lose to a team with 6% odds unless for some miracle something bad or terrible goes wrong. But yeah, don't listen to swayers. Don't factor what they say into what you want to bet on. You bet on the team you think are going to win based on some research and taking in what other people have said. But yeah, there's just some quick tips I have for you guys. I will do some more of these in the future if you want me to. My betting prediction analysis will be up later today. I'm going to upload this tomorrow since when I'm recording it. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.